Today, we're reporting from Ephesus, which is in modern-day Turkey. But previously, it was actually a Greek colony founded in the 10th century BC. Like most Greek cities, it had a mythic founder, this one being an Athenian prince. After being ruled by the Greeks for some time, it was conquered by various rulers, including the Persians under Cyrus the Great, the Macedonians under Alexander the Great, his successor's empire, the Seleucids, the Romans, the Byzantines, and then the Ottomans. Some of the history is really interesting, some is kind of boring. But the one constant and exciting factor is the Temple of Artemis. The Temple of Artemis is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. My goal on my historic trip is to travel through all 7. As this is the first one, I wanted to give you a little bit of history on this exclusive list. Now, the 7 wonders of the world were immense, incredible structures of the ancient world, either through size, scale, uniqueness of design. And they were popularized by various Greek writers. Many people actually only had 6 on their list, but the number 7 was approved upon because of the magic meaning of the number 7. As mentioned, the 7 wonders of the world were popularized by Greek writers, so it's no surprise that 5 of the 7 structures were actually built by Greeks. Now, the Temple of Artemis was dedicated to the Greek goddess Artemis, goddess of the moon, the hunt, and a bunch of other various things. But the first phase of the temple was actually dedicated to the matron goddess of the local Greek town before Artemis was worshipped. This was a temple made of clay, and it was destroyed by floods in about the 7th century BC. Now, about 550 BC is when the second phase of the Temple of Artemis was constructed. Now, this was supposedly the first Greek temple made of marble, and it was a wonder for the people to come see. Kings, merchants, and other visitors would come see the temple. About 200 years later, after it was built, a Greek arsonist who wanted to immortalize his name burnt the temple down to the ground. Now, people wondered, how would Artemis let her temple burn? And the rationale given was the day the temple burnt is the day the Alexander the Great was born. And so Artemis was busy helping in his birth. Now, the third phase of the temple started about a few decades after the burning of the second temple. Alexander the Great actually offered to rebuild the temple, but with one condition. He wanted his name inscribed at the top. The local Greeks politely refused and told him essentially that one divine being, Alexander the Great, couldn't just do such an honor to another divine being, Artemis. So they rebuilt it themselves. Now, this structure is the one that was praised. It had epic columns, about 127, grand altars, lots of statues, mosaics, very, very impressive structure. This last structure survived for about 600 years before it was destroyed by an invading Goth army in 268 AD. Now, what you see behind me, this column, is all that's left of the original structure. But interestingly enough, many of the stones and columns from the structure were carried to other buildings, both locally as well as other parts of the Turkish and Greek empires, one including the Hagia Sophia. So even though the temple's been destroyed, it continues to live on, both in stone form in other buildings across the world, as well as in memory, captivating the imagination of people thousands of years after it was built. Thank you.